Hi HipKit friends, it's Sarah Millerhouse here, and I'm excited to share a new layout with you today. I'm going to be using two layouts. That one that I'm holding right now is the Rose Circle from February. It's a February exclusive cut file. And then the other one is the Butterfly Wreath, and that is a March exclusive cut file. So I used my Cricut software to cut backing pieces for the cut file using the contour tool. And I had already backed the pink roses with some of the pink cardstock from the March kits. I'm going to be using all March kits in this layout. And then I'm also using the inks from the March color kits and the February color kits on there. And then I did fast forward ahead. I left this in. I'm not going to end up using this the way that it looks, but I left it in there because it just gave you an idea of some things you could do with some of these inks and a cut file. But I am going to end up cutting another white layer to go on top of it. So you can still see the inks poking through a little bit, but they're not as overpowering as they are kind of how I did them there. So now what I'm doing is I am filling in, these are the leaf backing pieces for the cut file, and then the blue circle. So you'll see here in just a second, I'm going to, maybe first I'm going to back some of the butterflies. So I did take 3 of the pieces from the exclusive cardstock kit, a piece of yellow, a piece of it's kind of like a light orange, like a tangerine color, and then pink. And I just cut butterflies using the contour tool. So just a backing piece. I could have used just one of those colors and done the whole thing, but I wanted different color butterflies. So I cut it in 3 colors and then went and glued them kind of in a pattern here. And there's that last one. So there's the whole thing. Then you're about to see me put another white layer on top. So there I cut another piece of white, and then I'm going to back it. And it just looked, it was a little too much with all the inks on top, so I liked it better, but I wanted to leave it in there just to show you that it doesn't always come out perfect the first time. I want to keep it real here, so I left that in there so you could see how I fixed it. So sometimes when you're doing a little bit of mixed media or a little bit of inking, sometimes you mess things up, and that's okay. You just find a way to fix it. So I just cut one more piece, and I actually really like how that looks on the final layout because it gives it, that cut file is pretty thick because I've got so many layers, and I really like how that looks. So here is the general layout of how it's going to go, and I'm going to trace with my pencil because I am going to go and add just a touch of blue color on the background. So I did use the Creamies Ride the Tide from a past color kit, and then also I'm going to be using Inkling's Blew My Mind as well. Those are from recent color kits. Those are both Shimmer's products. So I just took the area where I traced and kind of generally knew where that blue ink was going to poke through, or where you would see this color poking through. And so I'm adding it on there. Super easy. Not a lot of technique here. Just put it on with a brush, and then I am going to do a few splatters around. And then with the Blew My Mind, I'm just gonna, it's a much darker blue, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of that for splatters. And it's gonna look like a lot as I'm doing it, but you'll see in a second, I am gonna pick up a lot of that color. So here I'm just kind of wanting it to blend just a touch. Both of the mediums are wet, so they did blend and mix just a little bit. And then I'm going to use a paper towel to get most of that color up so that it's a much more subtle background. You can see there, but you can still see the variation in color, which is what I wanted. Okay, and then I'm going to use 2 of the beautiful patterned papers in the March main kit. And I'm gonna fussy cut out some flowers. I'm not gonna make you watch me do that whole thing. So you'll just see me do a couple here. And then those are all off to the right. And then I am using, this is the Simple Stories sticker book that was also in the March kits. So I'm just pulling some stickers off, putting it down on white cardstock, and then I'm gonna fussy cut around it. And then I'm using a circle photo. I thought that looked really good with the cut files that I'm using. This is from Easter, an Easter morning photo. And it has lots of flowers standing in front of a cross made all out of flowers. I thought that was perfect for a super florally layout. Not that I need an excuse to use flowers. I love them on every layout, but it seemed appropriate to do a big spray of flowers here. So I just used 2 of the pattern papers in the March main kit. To back that photo, I did use a layer of craft foam in between the 2 layers. And I'm going to be gluing down the cut file. Oh, I already glued down the cut file, sorry. So off camera, I added a little bit of adhesive, glued those cut files down, and then I was able to bend up the leaves, or the tips of the butterfly wings. Sorry, having trouble with my words. The tips of the butterfly wings, I was able to bend up, so that adds a little texture to the layout. This is also a Simple Stories product, the rub-ons from the March kits. I used the pink, it's a pink flower, it's kind of got a little bit of yellow poking out behind it. So here I'm just playing with the placement of all of those pieces that I fussy cut. And then I am also going to use some pink fresh frames mixed in here. So I got my photo down because I knew where I wanted it to go. And now I'm going to add the flowers one at a time, adding a little bit of craft foam. I will use several different thicknesses of craft foam to help build the layers. And I am bending up the leaves and the petals to add a little more texture. And I did want a very layered look, so I'm trying to overlap the flowers. This is now a different type of craft foam. It's a little bit thicker, so it sits up even a little bit more than the other lighter craft foam I was using. There, I skipped ahead a little bit, added a whole bunch more. Now you'll see me going back in and adding the leaves. I love when you start adding the greenery to a floral cluster. I love how it changes the look of all of it. Definitely needs the leaves to look complete. All right, and so now here I'm using the pink fresh frame. So I just used one of the other little pink fresh journaling cards that was in the kit, the ephemera kit. And I'm going to be using journaling. So I did pull out that same piece of pink paper and then pulled out several different markers, and I'm just testing them to see which color looks best on that pink. It's a light pink color. So I wanted to make sure that whatever marker I was using looked good with that color. just writing about our Easter morning celebration. Okay, and then this frame did not have any of the purple that was in the rest of the layouts, like the purple flowers and those things. So with that marker, after I did the journaling, I did go and add just a few little tiny touches, little dots, and I outlined a couple of the flowers with the purple so it looks like it was made that way, and it helped blend all of the things together. So you can't see it here, but when in the close-up photos, you'll be able to see that I did that. And then this is another pink fresh frame that I'm going to use for layering. And I used another one of the little journaling cards to back it. And then those are little pink fresh circles. Here in a second, you'll see I'm going to layer one of those on there, and it says happy. I just glued it right in the middle. Tried out a couple more, didn't work. Just adding the rest of those leaves that I had fussy cut. Okay, and now I'm going to start the little cluster up in the top left corner. So I'm going to start with a sticker from the Pink Fresh sheet of stickers, the March Kids. And I looked through several of the different things, and I end up finding another little journaling card in the ephemera set, and I'm going to rough up the edges of that and then layer it on top. I was determined to use that little square frame, but I don't end up using it. I really wanted to. I tried it out several places, but it didn't work. And then that pink sticker was a little dark once I got it on there. So here I'm going to do another little tricky thing. So I'm going to just cover it up. So the sticker I ended up wanting to use, it says Choose Joy. It's a little shorter, so I just added one of those little circle embellishments, put a little frame around it, and then added that sticker, and it was perfect. And you can't even tell there's anything behind it. And then these are the Simple Stories adhesive brads. I'm gonna use a couple of those. I always add glue. They're really good and adhesive now, but over time they need a little extra. And then these are the stickers from the Project Life kit, I think. So little teeny tiny numbers I'm using, and it's going to say 2023. And then I'll add one more little phrase sticker up there. Needed a little butterfly, of course. Because the butterflies on the cut file were not enough, I needed one more. And I liked tying in the blue that I had used on the background and the blue that was in one of those flowers. So I did put it down on a piece of white and then fussy cut around it. And that just helps it, if you leave a sticker the way that it is on the sticker sheet and you try to put it down, the whole thing is going to stick flat. And I wanted to be able to curl up the edges of the wings. So I put it down on a piece of cardstock and then added adhesive. And now what I'm doing to each of the butterflies around that cut file, I went and added 4 little holes with my X-Acto knife, just freehanded that. And then I'm going to add hand stitching. So it'll look like 3 little stitches on each butterfly. And I'll use some pink thread. Here I am threading my needle. Takes me a few tries. It's the hardest part of hand stitching for me, is getting the thread through the needle. All right, and then I'm not gonna have you watch me do that whole thing, but I will do some close-ups here so you can see it when it's finished. And then off camera, I did add some Nuvo drops from one of the color kits, and then just some little pops of color that were in my stash to the centers of the flowers for a little added touch. And then here you can see the hand stitching in the middle of the butterflies, the little pink stitching, and close up of all of that. And that's the layout. I hope you enjoyed the process. There's going to be some still photos coming up. If you did enjoy it, you can go ahead and give it a like. If you have any questions, you can pop them down in the comments. I'd be happy to answer those. And then tap the bell for notifications. And I have links if you would like to purchase the hip kits. I have links and a link to the blog if you'd like to read about it. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye for now.